Hey guys, it's Tech Talk Tuesday. That's right. It's Tuesday, and I have decided to do Tech Talk live today, this Tuesday. I know, kind of crazy, right? But guys, got to spice things up a little bit. That's what you know, anyways, never a bad thing to spice things up a little bit. I'm just going to change my computer view so when I'm looking at me, I'm looking at you. It's kind of crazy. Anyways, guys, today's topic of Tech Talk Tuesday is all about why you might notice that your engine brake, or what seems like your engine brake in your new 2022 truck, is on, coming on by its own, and on by itself, if that makes any sense, on by its own. Yeah, so essentially it's part of the 2022, actually it's the 2021 engine emissions, and it's called Oscar motoring. So if it feels like your engine brake is coming on in your new truck when your engine brake is off, it's because it kind of is. Now, it's not your engine brake as in, your Jake brake and all that sort of stuff. It's actually your turbo braking you. Not your turbo braking you. If you go to buy one over the parts counter, that's your turbo braking you. Turbos ain't cheap anymore, I can tell you that much. But yeah, so I've had customers. I've had a couple customers that have mentioned that it feels like their Jake is coming on when decelerating, coming up to a light or whatever. Good evening, Mark. Hello, greetings from the Netherlands. Thanks for joining Tech Talk Tuesday on Tuesday. And you know what? Let me know what you think of the live Tech Talk Tuesday, because we can make it a thing, because it'd be a heck of a lot easier to do a Tech Talk Tuesday on a Tuesday if you just did live rather than trying to record it. And I'm trying to figure out how to get my good camera to do the streaming, because let's just face it, it'd look better. So and I'd like to do podcasts, but I'm getting sidetracked because today's thing is all about why does it feel like my Jake is on when my Jake's not on? But it's a thing, and I believe it's probably mostly or just Cummins engines right at the moment. And essentially what it is it's a thing called Oscar motoring. So what they do is when your engine's decelerating, it loses heat. You got your exhaust going out, you're not putting fuel into it. And with the new 2021 emissions, one of the ways that Cummins decided to keep the heat in the engine is they actually turn the valves, your VGT turbo, call it, close the valves up a little bit, and to keep the heat in the engine using back pressure. But the kicker with using back pressure is essentially they're turning the turbo into a compression brake. And it's most pronounced when you're empty, because of course, like say it creates 50 brake horsepower, you're going to feel 50 brake horsepower more when you're empty than you do when you're fully loaded. You're at 63,500 kilograms, 140,000 pounds, 50 brake horsepower, you're not going to notice it very much. When you're empty bobtailing, yeah, you're going to notice it a lot. So that's essentially why, if you've got a new 2022 truck with a 2021 emissions, it feels like your engine brake is coming on when you're braking. Now, for the most part, I'm going to say 99.9% of the world, it's kind of a nice thing. Like, I know bobtailing, generally use your Jake or whatever, so it decelerating is fine. Now, where one of my customers found it to be not very good is when you're on a sheet of ice, slippery, icy roads, and you're coming down around a switchback, and now we're talking ice, like sheet of ice. And then your Oscar motoring kicks in, just a little bit of brake horsepower, and it retards your engine a bit to where it locks up because it's ice. So yeah, he had a scary moment because it locked up and almost went off a cliff and all that good stuff, because that's what we do here in northern British Columbia. We scare the bejeebus out of ourselves sometimes, but yeah, it's a new thing. And can you disable it right now? No, you can't. When Cummins put forth their engine to the EPA, that part of it, the Oscar motoring, was designed with the engine, so they can't put out an engine and disable it. Right now, they're doing testing to see how the engines work, and essentially, we might be able to disable it. I think they're allowed so many, call it credits, exceptions. I guess exceptions is the thing, but right now we can't disable it. It is disableable, like Cummins could, but we can't do it. So yeah, for the most part, that's all it is. Oscar motoring sounds like a Jake. You're idling up and it's like, does it sound like my Jake's on? No, your Jake's not on. You're Oscar motoring. And essentially, I mean, it's kind of a great thing because being that they keep the exhaust gases in, they're not injecting fuel into the combustion chamber to keep that heat. But use your Jake all the time. I use my Jake all the time in the snow too, but we're talking like sheet of ice kind of thing. So, and you know what? I honestly think most of you guys won't even notice a difference. I think it's a kind of a plus because it's a little bit more braking horsepower. And Cummins already has the best braking horsepower of anything. Like Cummins is 600 brake horsepower, and like you really can't go wrong with that. That's one of the places where Detroit, the MX, they all fall down because, well, fall down in the braking horsepower part compared to Cummins, because Cummins, you just can't beat it. Like 600 brake horsepower, it's freaking fantastic. And that's why even when I talk about Cummins and their efficiency series, you still have that braking horsepower. So you can have a fuel efficient engine and have great braking horsepower. And you know what? We just love it for the mountains. So anyways, guys, that's it. That's all I wanted to talk about was why it feels like your engine brake is on. It's because it's Oscar motoring. So if you were wondering, now you know. Yeah, that's about it. Nothing too crazy. And also wanted to touch on something that's happening in Canada right now. 60 series were good, but you know what I didn't like about the 60 series? I drove one back in when was that? I worked for Westcan Rail, and I had a picker truck with a Series 60 in it, and of course I kind of overloaded it. We were hauling rail off the rail grade. My boss at the time, foreman, whatever you want to call him, says, nope, you can fill it up to the edge of the dirt. I was like, I don't think I can take it all in one load. He's like, no, you can. You just fill it up. So I tried filling it up. I couldn't take it all. I heaped it up. And then I'm like, I can't do it. Like, I'm going to have to make another trip. I can't finish this all in one pass. So I lift it off and I'm pulling up this hill and I'm like, man, this thing won't pick up. Like the Series 6, I'm like, it's a dog, it's crap. It's like 600 RPM and it's just lugging up the hill. And it wasn't until I crested the hill and started down the hill that it started picking up. And then it was fine. I cruised along, went to the sort yard that we had for sorting the rail. And it was kind of, I could tell I was heavy and I was like, that's not very good. And at that time, I want to say they were 38 foot rails. And I think the rail weighs, with the way they calculate rail, how the heck was that now? 85 pound rail weighs 85 pounds per 3 feet of length. And anyways, I did the math of the rail I had on, and I had 104 pieces or 109 pieces. So I think it was like 200 and some odd thousand pounds. I was a little overweight. So what did being a little, well, I was a little overweight. So it wasn't the 60 series that was the issue. And the truck, I believe, was a 90. Actually, I think it was a 95 as well. But yeah, I actually bent the trailer because of where I had my dunnage. Like we had used the picker to load the rail, and I had the dunnage set up, close to the front for loading the rail. Or no, I had the dunnage back. That's right, for a load. So when I loaded it up, the one dunnage was back further. And because I put like over 200,000 pounds of rail on that trailer, when it did the bouncing down the highway, it actually bent the neck of the trailer. But I was green. You know what? I was a new driver, didn't know any better. And you know what the boss said? Fill it up. What am I supposed to do? I'm just the rookie here. So boss says, fill it up, you fill it up. But I actually got another funny story about when the boss tells you something. So I guess, I'm kind of going off the tangent about my Tech Talk Tuesday on the Oscar motoring and why your engine brake is on. But I kind of love the stories, and I can't help but telling you guys. So here's another story why you don't always do, or I guess I was going to say you don't always do what your foreman tells you to do, or you take it with a grain of salt, because ultimately you as the driver are 100% responsible for your load, for your truck once you leave. Doesn't matter what your boss says, doesn't matter what your wife says, doesn't matter what anybody says. When you're driving that truck, you're the one with all the responsibility. So, and guess what? If something happens, the first person you're going to do is blame the driver. You're driving too fast, you're driving too slow, you did whatever. So here's my story. Okay. Actually, it would be better to have shutters fitted on the engine again. Thanks, Alex from the UK. To keep the engine operating temperatures, would it not be better to have a radiator shutter fitted? And ironically enough, my GMC pickup has shutters on it, so it closes off. And the other things that shutters do is when it stops the airflow, the air hits it and then it pushes it around. So the air kind of makes a high pressure bubble, so to speak, at the front. So it's more aerodynamic having shutters because it doesn't let the air flow through, which causes drag. Good comment. That's actually a really great comment. And, the only reason why I think they won't introduce shutters again into trucks is because your air-to-air requires a certain amount of airflow all the time, because if you blocked off your air-to-air completely, then it's going to overheat your intake air temperature. So you would almost need to have shutters, I don't know, on the other side of the air-to-air, if that would make sense, but that would be the issue. You can't have shutters and an air-to-air. So if you want to charge air cooler, you can't have shutters in front of it. So it's kind of a catch 22, catch. But anyways, my other story about why you got to take what your manager says, your foreman, boss, whatever, wife. You always got to take it with a grain of salt. So I was working for the same company, and kind of a funny story. Anyways. So the boss says, our yard was small. So he says, when you back up to the spot, back up to the fence. And, I don't know if you guys noticed, but I wear glasses. My depth perception, not great. I actually had eye surgery a couple of years ago, and I think that had a lot to do with it. Turns out I have a lazy eye, or did. So they actually cut my muscles on the side of my eye and pulled it or pulled it this way, because I was cross-eyed. So I was seeing like that. And now anyways, my depth perception is not great. So I would leave a space. You back up to the fence and, leave 10, 15 feet, leave a buffer. You don't want to try and back up tight, because whenever you try and back up tight, that's when you hit stuff. So anyways, I come in one night, I'm tired, back up to the fence. And I remember Brad was his name. He was kind of an asshole. Oh, yeah, he was kind of a jerk. Sorry about that. Didn't mean to say the. Anyways, so I heard him in my head, back up to the fence. So I'm like, oh, crap, I better back up tight to the fence. So I'm looking in my mirror, and I'm like, that looks pretty close. And about the time that I said, yep, that's good, I saw the fence just go ding-a-ling. So the fence moved a little bit. And I was like, okay, I'm tight to the fence because I just saw the fence move. Pulled ahead a little bit. Fence is still straight up and down, so I didn't knock it over. I just gave it a little kiss. Just a little kiss. Just a little touch. Got a little touch. So anyways, whatever. I go home. I'm tired. Go to my condo. This is when I lived down at the coast. And next day I come and I was like, oh, did you hear what happened? It's like, there was police and fire here last night. And I was like, oh, what do you mean? And it's like, yeah. They're like, did you park your trailer? And I was like, yeah. And they're like, well, apparently when I just gave the fence a little kiss, there's a natural gas meter on the other side. And beside this company's building was a coverall company. So that it was Northern Linen at the time. So of course they've got big gas lines because they got big, washing machines and heaters and stuff. And they put their gas meter right on the property line. Well, what I didn't realize is when I touched the fence, the gas meter is right here and the fence is right here, and it's a chain link fence. Well, when I touched the fence, I also touched the gas meter, and it broke the gas meter. So it started leaking natural gas, and the guys in the business that's the coverall cleaning company, they smelled gas, called the fire department, and it was this big thing. And they're like, you broke the gas meter. And I was like, why is it right on the property line? Well, let me tell you, because it's right on the property line, it kind of got me out of a bunch of poo-poo, because then it's like, yeah, why is the gas meter on the property line? Because, there's supposed to be like a 3-foot or 6-foot setback, and they're supposed to have concrete posts around them. So, of course, fire department says, no, you can't have that there. You got to have concrete posts around it. So the fellow that owned the company that I worked for, he's like, well, I'm not letting you put concrete posts on my property. But there was nowhere else to put them because the gas meter was still like right on that property line. So to this day, there's 3 or 4 posts on that property to block the gas meter on the other property line because of me. Yep, because I backed into it and almost blew up half of Abbotsford. Yeah. So, you know what? when Brad said, you got to back up tight to the fence. No, you don't. You can leave a buffer. Be safe. Whatever you think is safe. So I also got into a big argument with him once about mirror heat because he's like, you're going to burn out your mirror heat. I'm like, it's off with the key. And he's like, oh, no, it isn't. I was like, yeah, it is. Touch the mirror. It's cold. And then I got, accused of being insubordinate. But what do you do, eh? Can't help it. Look after yourself, because ultimately you guys that are driving the trucks are the ones that are responsible. Everybody comes down on you at the end of the day. Once you pull away, it's your baby. So it doesn't matter who it is, what you're hauling. You're the guy, the guy that ran over and killed all those people or whatever because his brakes. He's the one that went to jail, not his boss, not the mechanic, not whoever. So just keep that in mind. But do I tell your buyers about all the Chinese parts on your trucks? Well, no, because I don't know how many Chinese parts are. I don't know how many parts are made in Mexico. I don't know how many parts are made in Europe, but I know parts come from all over the world. I know I've got wiring harnesses that say made in Mexico. Does it bother me? No. I like Mexico. There's Mexican people that want to earn a living just like you or I. The reality nowadays is there's so much stuff that comes from China. That's why we're in the problem we're in. So doesn't matter what truck you buy, you're going to get parts from somewhere. I don't know how many. I don't know which ones. Sometimes they say it actually. So, you can look at the parts. I actually, interestingly enough, when our 567s first came out, I had a brand new 567, black, small sleeper, beautiful truck, heavy spec. And Mexico is a big difference from China, but iPhones are made in China, aren't they? And everybody in the US and Canada have iPhones, except for me. I'm an Android guy. But now I just lost my train of thought. Dang it, I hate it when that happens. But yeah, no, it's, right, the truck, the wiring harness. So anyways, order it with CB wiring prep kit, like, whatever, the CB there, but there was just the hole because, we don't use CBs, we'll use a VHF. So the wires are hanging out, and I go into my new Peterbilt 567, and the wire's hanging out, and here on the tag it says Kenworth. Well, actually, it says made in Mexico, and it says Kenworth, and I'm like, I know these trucks are the same, guys, but you have to label it Kenworth in a Peterbilt. It just, you know what, Peterbilt and Kenworth, the parts are so interchangeable now. Could be worse. It could be mated, have a brother from another mother that's, that's not one of the top in the industry. I mean, it's PACCAR. But yeah, there is a big difference between Mexico and China. Things are manufactured globally by design in the home country. That is true. Mac for the win. You know what? Mac has a strong following. The reality is everything is coming from overseas. And honestly, I think we need to change that. And I think the supply shortage is a great example of why we need to manufacture more stuff in North America. I got my Yeti mug. But I'm curious, does my Yeti mug say, actually, I'm curious if it says made in the USA, because let's face it, Yeti is a US company. I love my Yeti mug. Not gonna lie. Well, I wouldn't lie to you guys anyways, which sometimes gets me into trouble, but yeah, is it made in America? I sure hope so. I can't actually, it doesn't actually say. It probably says on a sticker somewhere. I got a vlogging camera. This is my camera, by the way. So if you notice some of my videos have a little bit better picture, it's because I got this. And you know how I got this? From selling Peterbilt trucks. But I bet you it's made in China. Well, actually, I don't know where it's made. And I mean, you didn't sign in to, do a where is it made, but the reality is we do need to build more stuff in North America or our home country. I mean, if you're in the UK, Great Britain, Germany, Europe, maybe we should be build more stuff over there. But the reality is of a global economy, everybody works together. And this is what drives me nuts when it comes to all this EPA greenhouse gas BS. Yes, it's good to be green, and I don't know, I think I'm getting the good to be green part mixed up. It's good to look after your environment. It's the same old story. You don't go poop on the floor in your living room. You know what? You look after your environment. You look at your home. But But the reality is, yes, we got to have clean air, but we also have to protect our jobs, protect our resources. And saying that you're a green country, Mr. Yeah, I'm not going to get political, but well, I guess I'm kind of, well, no, I'm getting EPA political because we're truck guys, right? We got to deal with this stuff. So to say you're going green, you got DPFs, DEF, and you're a green country. Oh, we're so good. But then you manufacture everything in third world countries or in China where they're like, we don't care how much pollution's coming out the stack as long as we can make our widgets and sell them to those crazy US and Canadian guys for pennies on the dollar. So Yeti is available all over the world. I wonder if they make them all over the world. But yeah, so I guess what I'm saying is at the end of the day, if you truly want to be green, it's be green the whole worldwide. You can't say that, oh yeah, we're in Canada, we're so much better than everybody else because we've got EPA mandates. Now you have to have idle shutdown timers and all the rest of it. But yet we're going to make that, widget that we use to run our engines. We're going to make the NOx sensor in Taiwan Taiwan. Is Taiwan a place? Probably not. I'm going to have to try that one on my kids because it drives them nuts when I use words that aren't real words like this morning. And I know I'm getting sidetracked. Turned on the French radio station and I think I got it from my dad, but there was this phrase, Gendarme du Canada. And I don't think it's actual French. And I don't speak French. You know what? Canada's bilingual, love French people. Well, I don't literally love French. Well, I mean, if she was a hot girl, then I might love a French girl, or a French person. But yeah, so, it's not really words. So anyways, Taiwan, maybe that's the politically correct place we can say our parts come from because it's not Taiwan. It's not China. It's Taiwan. Huh? But yeah, totally left field. So if your NOx sensor that you can't get is made in a factory that's not environmentally friendly, that's heated with coal, that's got energy produced by coal, and it's got all kinds of pollution, how much are we really helping the environment? Isn't it kind of hypocritical? I don't know. There is hypocrism everywhere. But, is it Australian Day? Oh, happy Australian Day. I had no idea, Mad Cow Mark. That's awesome. You know what? I really want to go to Australia one day. I got some friends over there. EPA has ruined a lot of industries. And yeah, I think that's really cool, actually, Australia Day. But anyways, guys, I just wanted to touch on, why the Jake is on. Didn't really want to get, to get into anything political. I know there's the rally going to Ottawa this week. What day is it today? I think they're supposed to be there Friday or something. There's like thousands of trucks. I was curious if you guys would want to hear me talk about that. I've actually thought about starting a podcast. Don't want to get political, but I mean, I think a person can talk about the trucking industry without getting political and to a certain degree. But it started out as this whole mandate about saying that guys have to be vaccinated to cross the border. Personally, I'm vaccinated. I got my 2 whatever shots. I got the booster. I don't care. I want to, I had cancer. Oh, dang it. I swore. Just ignore that part. So a person does stuff in your youth that is a lot worse for you than, getting a vaccination. So that part doesn't bother me. But what does bother me is when a leader of a country calls us Western terrorists. And I say us because I'm from the Western part of Canada. And for good, hardworking people that just don't want to get vaxxed or whatever, that don't agree with that rule or, and I think most of them, a lot of them are vaccinated anyways, but don't call Canadians terrorists. We're going to show up at Ottawa and you know what it is? It's going to be a bunch of trucks. They're going to be standing there with their Timmy's coffee and they might be, dropped a few F-bombs or whatever because you're truckers. Let's face it. Sometimes truckers curse a little bit. But we're not terrorists. To call us Western terrorists, like, pull your head out of your sand. We're going to show up with a cup of coffee, and you know what? What they don't get is they're going to show up early because what do truck drivers do? We show up early because we get to work, they do the work, and they're not violent. Well, not that I know of. I mean, I guess there's always the guy that gets a little angry, but anyways, guys, don't want to make it all about politics, but at the end of the day, I don't necessarily support the complaining about having to get vaccinated to cross the border. Because I mean, if I want to go to California or wherever, I have a passport. I think the part that really bothers me about it is in the beginning of this whole pandemic, the truckers. Let's face it, everybody praise the truckers. They're the lifeblood. Support the truckers. Bring food. All the bathrooms are closed. Restaurants are closed. You know, you couldn't do anything, and everybody was there for the truckers. And now it's like, nah, screw the truckers. You got to follow all the rules and stuff like that. And I don't agree with that. You know, at the end of the day, you just can't do that. You can't say, no, we'll give you a free pass at the beginning of the pandemic because we need you. And then now that the pandemic's winding down, because I really think that's what it's winding down with this Omicron thing. People are getting sick like crazy, but they're not dying and they're not ending up in hospital. Certainly there are some that have ended up in hospital and died, which is why I say just get vaccinated. If you're like, to me, if you're a man, I can take a needle. I'm willing to risk it for the biscuit, but that's just my own opinion. But like, we just need to get on with this. And I think now it's about control. So anyways, hats off to all those truckers that are headed to Ottawa. We're behind you. And it was a ridiculous comment. I love all your trucks. Thanks, Mike's. Which was a ridiculous comment? I'm not sure. We're all with the convoy. Yeah. Yep. Keeping it real. But anyways, guys, plans with the CABOVERs. Some people have mentioned that it looked like Low and Slow's windshield was in. Yeah, it's not in yet. I screwed up. And this is how I screwed up. And you know what? I'm about to end this live tech talk, but and probably a lot of people are already gone anyways. Because like, oh, Mike's going on a tangent. But yeah, the windshield's not in yet. The primer paint that I put on it, I was reading the bottle and it actually says that not to be used for automotive use. And I was going to use some micro glass filler, Bondo, if you want, body filler, but it's glass glazing, whatever, and it's waterproof, and that's what our body shop guys recommended. And then I realized that the primer that I used is not compatible, so it probably won't stick and it'll all fall off. So I'm gonna have to sandblast the frame again to get the primer off that I just put on it, so that the spots that are bumpy, rusty, I can glaze it over. I still got to get a chunk of like sheet metal to make a lip. I've got flat bar that I think will work. The only kicker is if the rust goes into the little lip, I need to make a lip, and it's actually fairly thick. And I'm scratching my head. I hope I don't have cooties. Yeah. So the windshield isn't in Low and Slow, and this time when I sandblast it off, I'm going to pull it outside. And you know, I was looking at an old video of Kenny, and I'm going to drive him to work some more. So I just got to finish getting the. Yeah, politicians do suck. Boy, isn't that the truth? But I think people were seeing Stubby and thought, well, that could be. Yep, Stubby. Yeti is made in China, Mike. Dang it. I'm telling you everything. But I just wanted to do a live tech talk. Let me know what you guys think about the live tech talks, because it's a little bit more raw. You know, I mean, obviously, you can tell it's a bit more raw. Start off with a tech talk and end up talking about friggin' where's the Yeti made. But, you know, I really appreciate you guys for watching. And we both work for Oval companies, Peterbilt, you Ford. Well, I like Ford trucks. Ironically enough, I tried to buy a Ford pickup, but the wife was not about Ford. Yeah, politics not a good thing to put on channel. So I don't think I'm talking about politics. Am I talking about politics? Is too much? Well, I don't know. When it comes to the EPA, yeah. Oh, or maybe you're talking about like if I do a podcast. So I was thinking about doing a podcast. Let me know what you guys think. Change the subject. Pineapple on pizza or not? Oh, good point. Change the subject. I think pineapple on pizza is okay. What do you think? Actually, I would like to go to Italy and have real pizza. I think that would be cool. But one day, maybe. One day, if we can ever leave the dang country. But anyways, guys, I should probably end this. Oscar Motoring, that's what it's like when your Jake is on a little bit. And this vlog kind of took a little bit of a left turn. whatever. It's live. That's what happens when it's live. It's real, man. It's real truck talk. So, anyways, guys, I appreciate you very much from all over the world that tune in to follow me. More truck content coming on the CABOVERs. I'm also did a walk around on one of my new trucks, so I was going to share that. I know you guys probably are here to this channel just to look at CABOVERs, which is of course awesome because I love them. And but I also was thinking I'd like to do more lives, and you know, it's a little more raw, and just have conversations with you guys, like have chats. You know, maybe we could do interviews with people, and what do you think? I mean, it's live, it's real. You know, we got people from all over the world, and you know, that's why, you know, when people want to diss where parts are made, I'm not really into it, because let's face it, there's somebody working in every country right now that's, you know what, just trying to make a wage, provide for their family, you know, take the odd vacation, or maybe just have a better way of life. And you can't knock anyone that wants a better life. And I support everyone that's out busting their butt to do better for whatever it is. So anyways, guys, thanks for watching. That's Tech Talk Tuesday. And remember, I don't know, remember, it's all about you. It's not about me, it's about you. Because you ultimately take the responsibility when you get behind that wheel. Doesn't matter who your boss is, who you're whatever, you're the guy that's, yeah. Anyways, guys, thanks for watching. It's been a pleasure. Till next time. And if you enjoyed this video, please smash that like button, and we'll do another Tech Talk Tuesday live next week. And if you don't, we'll just pretend this never happened. Didn't happen. It's on the internet forever, but I actually think it was kind of fun. But, you know, that's just me. I'm a fun guy. Not a fun guy, but a fun guy. Yeah. So anyways, guys, I know I said it 14 times already. Thanks for watching. That's Tech Talk Tuesday. Oscar Motoring. That's why it feels like your Jake is on, because it kind of is a little bit. Not your Jake, but retardation. Is it legally, politically correct to say retardation? Probably not, because, you know, it'd have to be, say, like special needs Jake. Oh my gosh, I'm digging myself a hole here. Engine retarder with the turbo. That's what I'm saying. Is it cold here? No, actually, it's warm today. It's supposed to get down to close to minus 30 next week again. But yeah, you guys stay safe. Be great. Love y'all in a non-gay kind of way. And I'm leaving it at that.